Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the January 25th Curriculum Committee meeting. All members are here, and I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I need an approval of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda?
Sorry, motion to approve the agenda.
I'm sorry, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, 4-0. I need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 30th.
So move.
I wasn't at the meeting, so I can't say.
So move.
Okay, can I second it? Because Sandra wasn't at it
Yes,
either.
you can
wasn't
second
at it
Okay,
anything.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do when we're not at a meeting.
Okay, me neither.
But I'm sure it was fine.
I think we should talk to Michelle about that and table
Okay.
it for now.
All right, we'll do that. Okay, items for discussion, DLI updates. Ms. Garner?
Well, good morning. I have shared with you all a one-pager that has some updates. Would you like for me to share my screen to show the one-pager? Okay, perfect. I will do that. All right, can everybody see the one-pager?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I just want to start with kind of the state of affairs where we are, and then we have a request to move forward. So as you can see at the top, our number of schools with immersion continues to grow as our students matriculate from kindergarten through high school. So we're very excited this year that we brought Piedmont High School on board. And that's kind of what we're looking at. You can see in the middle, the highest grade per school. So you can see that Kensington is in two different places. They added Spanish this year, so that is up through first grade. But then, of course, their Mandarin immersion is up through fifth grade. So as those Spanish students move through, the Mandarin students will matriculate out. And what you can see is that this year with East and Walter Bickett in fifth grade, next year we'll be adding Monroe Middle School to our middle schools, and then we'll be adding several high schools as well. Now that we have Parkwood, Porter Ridge, and Weddington, who are through eighth grade, they will be moving to ninth grade next year. So you can see that in the future plans. And then we've got a couple of proposals. So let me go ahead and go to the next page, the back of this, and I will share these with you. So the first proposal is to add an immersion program, starting with kindergarten immersion at Sandy Ridge Elementary School. So the rationale for this is that currently the Marvin cluster is the only cluster in our district without access to Spanish immersion. They do have access to Mandarin. But as you can see, we do have a lot of interest in that cluster for Spanish, and Kensington is the closest school. They consistently have a wait list in their kindergarten class. And so, we're not able to accommodate all of the folks who are interested in kindergarten immersion. And Sandy Ridge did do a school-wide survey. There was strong interest. So that's kind of the first piece of the proposal. The second would be to also add a program at Rayview Elementary, which is also in the Marvin cluster. And so when you think about the proximity of Kensington and Sandy Ridge, Kensington with their wait list for kindergarten is a nice overflow for families. And then when you take a look at Rayview, Weddington and Antioch is a nice overflow as well. Weddington and Antioch are two of our most popular programs. They always have a large wait list for kindergarten. And so, Rayview is in close proximity. And then the rationale for adding both of those schools at the same time is really looking at that middle school piece. It makes your middle school program much more solvent when you add two classes at the same time coming to middle school, just because we know that there are a lot of kids along the way who move, and then when they get to middle school may choose to do something different. So that would give you enough kids to make a robust class as they move forward together. And then Rayview has also had a survey with some strong support. I'm going to pause here just because these are the two that are related, and then entertain any questions if there are any. If not, I'll move on to the interpreter certificate program.
I have a quick
Garner.
question. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to add that, currently Marvin is the only cluster without access to Spanish immersion, and at Kensington, Antioch, and Weddington, this demonstrates the demand. So that's just speaking to the demand to be able to provide dual language within the Marvin cluster and make that expansion.
Thank you.
So are we going to allow people from out of the Marvin cluster to get into Sandy Ridge and Rayview, or is it only for those two schools?
So the way the preferences currently work is that we would fill those first within the school, which, you know, based on the surveys that we've seen from both of these schools, from existing families as well as some that are rising kindergarten that they identified, there is strong support. If there were a few seats left, those would go to other schools in the Marvin cluster. So, you know, you would be looking at potentially some Marvin Elementary students who are interested in Spanish could go over there. And if there were any seats, you know, we would have to evaluate that when the time comes to kind of look at where things are within the cluster as far as space.
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna add that I think given the demand of these in those two school communities, it's very, very likely that these spaces will be filled by the students and the families in those two schools already. So I think that when you look outside the cluster, it's probably not going to be a reality for next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, I had a quick question because maybe I'm not, because I'm new. Can you go back to the first page you had when you were sharing?
Sure.
What is the elementary? What is this one-way, two-way? What does that mean?
Yeah, perfect. So the one-way programs, it's really based on the population of students in the school. So in our one-way programs, the majority of kids in those schools are native English speakers who are learning the new language for the first time, right? So
Okay.
whether that's Spanish or Mandarin. And in the two-way programs, those are all Spanish immersion programs. We have a higher concentration of students whose families speak Spanish. And so you've got a mix of Spanish students who are bolstering their Spanish skills while also learning English for the first time. And then you've got some students who speak English at home who are bolstering their English skills while also learning Spanish for the first time. So it just indicates whether everybody's learning in one way, they're learning the new language, or if they're pairing their native language with the new language.
And does this program, I guess that's where does the program, it goes all the way up to high school?
It does. It does. So in middle school, the program becomes an elective course. And then in high school, the students fold right into the existing Spanish world language courses.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, Ms. Green, that we are Jessica, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the points of pride for UCPS on that is we've been pretty committed to our families that you don't end your dual language experience when you leave fifth grade. A lot of districts in the nation say once you're done in fifth grade, you're done with the language acquisition and the proficiency. And we've gone the other way, which I think has really been a hallmark of our program, has helped kind of differentiate us and provided that continuum of education all the way through high school, which really helps set our kids apart, I think.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, that's when it's good to know when they're that young, but then it's beneficial for after high school into college for careers and things like that. So if I could have put my daughter in this, I would have. She's stubborn and she won't speak Spanish to my mom, so.
Well, I will just say that that's a beautiful segue into this next piece of the proposal, which really does have to do with where we are helping our kids advance after they finish the existing programming that we have available in our high schools. So, you know, currently our oldest group of students is at Sun Valley High School. They're in 10th grade. And that group, some of them are taking AP Spanish language, the ones who've chosen to continue that far. And so, you know, as you can see from this first bullet point, the next course in the sequence that College Board offers is AP Spanish Literature. And I will say that, you know, we do not offer this currently in Union County Public Schools. Our high school principals have expressed a little bit of, I guess, just nervousness about where they're going to find staffing to put the course. And typically, this is a very low interest course among students. It's very similar to a student who's majoring in Spanish in college and who has to study all of the different literary works. I can tell you that as a Spanish major in college, those literature courses are they're intense. They're a lot. And so there's not a lot of students who are, it's really a very small group of kids who have high interest in that. So we've really kind of felt like, yes, the AP Spanish literature is an option for those students, but is it the best option? And so after some investigating, I actually learned about this program. There's an interpreter certificate program that is offered in a couple of different community colleges across the state. And so after investigating and speaking with folks at those community colleges, Durham Tech Community College is interested in partnering with us through Career and College Promise to offer our students and their access to their interpreter certificate program. It is an 18 credit hour program, but they shorten the courses so students could finish the program in 3 semesters. It is, like I said, it's Career and College Promise, so it's covered under that state umbrella. And what we're looking to do is to start this program in the spring of 2024. We talked also about the textbook cost to our students. Would that be prohibitive? And with our current textbook reimbursement over the course of the 18 credit hours, the total cost to students that would not be reimbursed is only $25. And of course, we have a process in place so that our students who are currently receiving free and reduced lunch would not incur that $25 fee. The other piece of this that's nice, part of this program, now obviously that's in Durham and our kids are here in Union County. So the way that would work, this would be specifically if we get a group of 10 students that could be from across all of our high schools, it would be only Union County Public School students working together with the professors from Durham Tech Community College. And there's a portion of the classes that is synchronous that would be online, and then the remainder of the work would be asynchronous. So, when you think that synchronous piece, there's about 45 minutes where the students would be actively meeting with the professor in a setting very similar to what we are doing right now. And then the rest of the work would be done on their own, as most online courses are when they take them virtually through Career and College Promise. Because of our schedule, we would be able to schedule that during the day for students. We would look, there's enough time because it's only 45 minutes. We could find a consistent time across all of our high schools. So regardless of what school students go to, they would have access to this program. And, we've got a small cohort at Sun Valley right now, but I looked in Power School, and really the entrance to this program would not just be for immersion students. Any student who has successfully passed the AP Spanish language exam could have access to this interpreter certificate. That's going to be what shows Durham that they are at the right proficiency level to be successful in the program. So we have 19 students right now who would be eligible to start this in the spring. Spring of 2024, I will say, in a year. So we're really excited about it, and think that, this is a great option. There are 2 pathways students can choose. One is a public servant interpreter certificate, and then the other one that I'm really excited about, knowing that Monroe Middle School is coming on next year, is a medical Spanish interpreting certificate. So we are proposing to add that for the spring of 2024.
Does anybody have any questions? No?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said no, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So I need a motion to send this to the full board.
A motion to send this to the full board.
Second,
This proposal, yes. All in
Second.
favor?
aye.
I'm sorry, I can't see everybody. Opposed? Okay. Thank you very much. Next up, Teach UCPS.
All right, so Ms. Gardner, awesome. I'll go ahead and share our screen and then turn it over to Dr. Houlihan.
All right, good morning, board members. Thank you for your time this morning. We are very excited to share a brand new program and proposal with you this morning. We would like, at the end of this presentation, after your questions, this is an action item that we would like taken to the full board with a standalone separate agenda item for a public presentation on February the 7th. So we are very excited this morning to announce a new proposal that is a grow your own teacher pipeline proposal that we are calling Next Stop Teach UCPS, or probably what I will be referring to from this point forward is just simply Teach UCPS. As you're going to hear from staff, this is a very innovative series of pathways for our current students who might one day want to become a teacher for us within Union County Public Schools. As we know, the teacher pipeline across the nation has really become a dwindling issue. I say often that the teacher pool has become a puddle, and we're trying to be very creative on what we can do and what we should be doing to help grow our own teachers. As you're also going to hear, not only is this a pathway for our current students, but also for our current employees. And Dr. Harris will touch a little bit on that in terms of our changes to our teacher assistant to teacher pipeline. I do also want to welcome Mr. Jeff Frederick. Jeff is here. He is from Wingate University joining us today. And also Mr. Russell Carpenter, who is with Brian Davis. Mr. Carpenter is from South Piedmont Community College. These are two outstanding partners that are going to be working with us on this initiative, and they are here to answer any questions. Dr. Rhett Brown and Dr. Maria Farr are also planning to be with us at the February 7th board meeting when we present this publicly. So Dr. Harris, I will kind of turn it over to you and we'll go from there.
Thank you very much, Dr. Houlihan. Thank you very much, Curriculum Committee. I want to start by saying thank you for this opportunity. First, we have to acknowledge that there is a concern, a growing concern amongst our teachers and getting teachers to come to education. There is a national, state, and local teacher shortage currently. Right now, North Carolina ranks 11th among the states with the highest teacher shortages. And with nearly 10,000 teacher vacancies in North Carolina, there is a growing concern. Dr. Houlihan mentioned that we have to work with the end in mind, and we currently have individuals within our community that are interested in becoming teachers. Where are we going next from here? We are investing in our students and employees. We're also engaging with our colleges and universities. That's very important to grow our next crop of teachers. Also, it's very important for us to remove barriers and put opportunities in the hands of our classified employees as well as our teachers moving forward.
So as I mentioned, this has really this initiative is really being supported by two outstanding partners, Wingate University and South Piedmont Community College. You're going to hear a little bit more about pathways from both standpoints. And I want to say publicly thank you to South Piedmont leadership and Wingate University leadership. We have signed articulated agreements with them for course credits for kids who are in our high schools, as well as the pathway design that has been approved. And again, thank you to South Piedmont and to Wingate University, because you all have been instrumental in helping support this initiative from day one. This has been about a year in the works. We've been working on this for almost 12 months and want to really recognize the work that really in this school system in this county is very unique, in my opinion, the way in which the school system works with the community college and the local private university. So shout out to our partners and thank you.
All right, so I would like to start by giving a pathways overview. This is a high-level view of the pathways for Teach UCPS, and then we'll go into a deeper dive later in the presentation. So we have the associate's pathway and the traditional pathway. I'll start with the associate's pathway. These students will earn a high school diploma and an associate's degree from South Piedmont Community College upon exiting high school, and then they would have the opportunity to continue on the road to Wingate with that scholarship. These students will be classroom teachers in 2 years after high school graduation, and this is available to all UCPS high school students. The cost for the associate's degree, it would be a zero tuition cost, and the Road to Wingate scholarship is $2,500 per year. So when we look at the traditional pathway, we have the pre-apprentice pathway. These students register as a UCPS teacher preparation pre-apprentice. They earn a high school diploma, and then they go on to South Piedmont Community College up to 2 years as this UCPS apprentice while working in UCPS as a teacher assistant. Then they are eligible to the Road to Wingate scholarship. And these students would become a classroom teacher 2 to 4 years after high school graduation. Currently, we have this CTE Academy at Weddington High School with plans to expand to Porter Ridge High School in the 23-24 school year. The cost for the associate's degree is a zero tuition, and the Road to Wingate Scholarship is a $2,500 per year cost. We also have the university pathway. So these students complete the 3 teaching as a profession courses. They earn their high school diploma, and then they may transfer these credits, up to 7 credits, directly to a 4-year university. And they would become a classroom teacher 4 years after high school graduation. So again, this is available in the CTE Academy currently at Weddington High School, with plans to expand to Porter Ridge High School in that 23-24 school year, and then the student would incur the cost with this university pathway.
So we currently have a partnership, a great partnership with Wingate University with regards to our TA to teacher program, which means that any TA that currently has an associate's degree may go through the program through Wingate University and earn their bachelor's, become a teacher. We are expanding that program to any individual or TAs that currently don't have an associate's, may now go through SBCC to gain their associates, and then go through Wingate to get their bachelor's and become a teacher within 4 years after that. So we are very proud of both of those partnerships.
All right, so now we'll go a little bit deeper into the student pathways.
The associate's pathway, students will begin or self-identify as they enter 9th grade. Students will complete an aggressive dual enrollment program in partnership with SPCC. Students will exit high school with a diploma and a teacher prep associate's degree. And this is a program available to all UCPS students at all schools. This pathway will allow a student to graduate from high school, go directly to Wingate, and will have them as a classroom teacher within 2 years of high school graduation.
So just kind of continuing on with the other options that we have. The first option is the pre-apprenticeship pathway, which Dr. Rogers has already kind of alluded to how this works with the CTE Teaching as a Profession pathway that we have. And again, that is located currently at Weddington High School with plans to expand to Porter Ridge High School. That pathway is made up of 3 courses that students will complete, and they must keep when they make that commitment, keep their GPA at a 2.5 throughout that process. Once they are registered as a pre-apprentice, they do have the opportunity that they could be hired by Union County Public Schools as a registered apprentice upon graduation, which would allow them the opportunity to get free associate's tuition and the support of Union County Public Schools. So again, reiterating, as students can attend South Piedmont Community College and they complete their associate's degree, they would be able to qualify for that Road to Wingate scholarship, where if they choose to do so, they could continue on with their bachelor's degree and earn their teaching license within 4 years of graduation of high school. The university pathway is more of a traditional pathway for students who do complete our CTE pathway that we have at our schools. By completing that and using the articulation agreements that we have, students can get articulated credit at Wingate University as well as other participating universities across North Carolina. Students can get up to 7 transferable credits upon completion of the courses. And again, these programs will be at Weddington and Porter Ridge High School.
And as I mentioned before, the teacher assistant pathway is as I mentioned before, teacher assistants would register as a Union County Public Schools apprentice and complete their associate's degree with SBCC within 2 years. Finally, that teacher assistant would attend Wingate University and get their bachelor's degree within 2 years, and then come back and teach with Union County Public Schools after a 4-year stint.
All right, so I'll take just a few moments to talk about student experience opportunities. So students in our traditional pathways will expand their apprenticeship, internship, field experiences by having access and participating in relevant UCPS professional development sessions. This might include things like Canvas Rockstar, building a Canvas course, classroom management, professional developments and trainings, and any subject related or subject area professional development opportunities. We also would be able to provide an opportunity for our traditional pathway students to participate in any relevant summer programs. They could work as a paid tutor during summer months, participate in any of the professional development along with summer programs, and any of the planning involved with summer programs. And then finally, students that are participating in CTE internship programs, this involves lesson planning with staff and with teachers, attending planning meetings on teacher work days, and actual opportunities to teach small or whole group lessons.
So one of the things that has really emerged from our students when we've talked about this with this idea as an incentive for them wanting to become a teacher is to attend a college or university at a very sharply reduced tuition cost or for free. That is the model the state uses for the North Carolina Teaching Fellows Program, where the state pays for your tuition, and in return you agree to come back to a district and work for a minimum of 3 or 4 years. So I think for us, one thing that we need to think about, especially as we begin our budget season, is do we as a school system want to put funding in our local budget request for the purposes of scholarships for kids who graduate, want to take that road to Wingate at a reduced tuition of $2,500 per year, and instead of them having to pay that, we as a school system could pay that for them, with then in return they come back and work for us. We're not necessarily asking for the board at this time to commit to that, but that is something that during our budget development season, we really want to put on the table as a priority and as something for consideration. Another possibility, I've had some discussions with our current partners that work with us, specifically on the academic end with professional development, who want to meet with us following the board's approval, because we have some entities that are outside of UCPS that also could see a lot of value in providing scholarship opportunities for students and getting our kids while they're in high school and soon after really invested in their products and their professional development that will help them from day one become a master teacher when they're in the classroom. And then the third idea that we're going to talk about down the road is our local municipalities. I've had some preliminary discussions with local elected officials about the idea of town councils and other local government agencies wanting to partner with us to contribute scholarships for kids to offset the cost of tuition with some investment and some return for there, where they would then be placed back in that local municipality to teach in a local school. So these are all three just ideas right now. Again, nothing that the board has to commit to, but just some ideas that as we go down the road this semester and really begin to launch this, as we have kids entering this program as a freshman and or a sophomore, junior, or senior, how great would it be if they could say, you know what, when I graduate from high school and go to SPCC and go then to Wingate, I can do that at zero tuition cost. And I think that is something that is a goal of us in our program moving forward. And it's something that you're going to hear me speak with the board about and with our local municipalities and partners as we move forward in the next couple of months. Again, if this is where we want to go, the commitment for that scholarship piece would be that you would graduate from Wingate University, you would work as a teacher in a Title I school for a minimum of 3 years, or in a non-Title I for a minimum of 4 years. That is the same model the state uses for our Teaching Fellows program.
And finally, we have information. If students are interested, they could contact their school counselor, visit our CTE website, and also look in our UCPS program of studies. For interested teacher assistants, they can contact HR through an email or the contact at Wingate University. So that is the end of our presentation. I'll take my screen off share mode and open it up for questions.
So this is this is where they would, it is a commitment though to work with UCPS, not take their degree or certificate or whatever and go like to CMS or a different district, in other words. Correct? Would that be the
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
just
We're gonna
making
be working
sure.
with our partnerships,
Okay.
and the expectation is they come back to Union County Public Schools and grow our own, and that's what we're looking for, students
Okay.
and teachers.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear, like it's not something they take from here and then go somewhere else with that, because we have a shortage. It'd be important to keep it. We're
Absolutely.
doing all that work.
I have a few questions. And my questions will probably be here and there from the presentation. So how long have we had the partnership with Wingate University in South Piedmont?
So for this specific partnership, we haven't really ever had a
Right.
teacher pipeline partnership with the two of them like we're speaking of today. The TA to teacher pipeline has been in place with Wingate University for several years. That has run out of our HR department. But this specific partnership has not existed until now.
Okay. My next question, dealing with the teacher, the TA teacher partnership. So I know that we've had that for quite some time. How successful have we been with it? Teachers who start, TAs who start, and who finish?
So
Do
we
we have
sort
like a,
of- so
Dr. Harris?
no problem. So we sort of just started that back up with that partnership with Wingate University, and it's been sort of successful. Initially, we had about 125 interested TAs, but it limited because some of those TAs did not have that associate's degree to come straight to the university. Now with this, we can open it up to everybody, and they can earn their associates, and they can go to Wingate and get their bachelor's. So currently, we may have about 25 in the program, but we're trying to open it up a little bit more.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So my next question, dealing with, because the teaching profession is a very rewarding profession, and we all know that. But when we look at interested students who may start out early on being interested in teaching, but as they go through school and start counting up the costs, dealing with the cost of living and having to live in a county, and those students who are in poverty, if this is a desire that they would like to go into, again, there are bigger conversations they're going to have as far as where to live and things of that nature. So with that, going through this program, those students, is there, after graduation and becoming a teacher, is there like an incentive that they get, like a bonus or something, and it may have been in the presentation, that helps with their housing after they get out of college or something like that, to find somewhere to live? Because we do want them to stay here, but those who live in the county, especially I'm talking about from on the east side, there's no affordable housing for people to, and then if they live in Charlotte, some may get very overwhelmed with driving from Charlotte to Monroe, Marshville, Wingate, or even Unionville. I don't know. Is there something that we can give them to help with that?
So what we are looking at as far as recruitment efforts is just that. What does it look like to engage some of our local realtors across our district to see if we can't partner with them and use that as a strategy to keep them in Union County? So that is part of the package that I'm going to present in the next maybe month to Dr. Houlihan.
In
Okay.
in the current proposal that you all just heard, there isn't any financial incentives tied with this. I think that is something that we, again, would need to have further discussion with. The one thing that I will say is we also have a collective group of kids already identified at Monroe Middle and at East Union as an example that have that partnership with Wayfind with SPC, with Wingate called Wayfind. Many of these are possibly could go to Wingate already, with zero tuition cost. And they have a college readiness program that teaches them life skills, financial aid, how to build your resume, all kinds of, real world life skills that we could apply to this pathway program as well. So I think we've got a lot we can do on that end. But the goal is to prepare kids who want to go into teaching and then place them in a school when they graduate. Any kind of incentive or financial incentive that we can work on obviously would be beneficial, but that's a little bit down the road.
Because that's great, the incentives to get them in the program, but once they finish, they are going to need somewhere to live. And living in the community that you serve in is an awesome opportunity. And so that's why I was asking, is there any type of something that possibly can be done? But as you all mentioned, you all are working on that. And my last question is, how are we pushing, in what way are we pushing this initiative to encourage children of color to go into the teaching field? Because we need, I know there's a large shortage of teachers, but we need a lot. There is a great need for African-American males in the classroom. Are we trying to encourage African-American males to look into education and to go in that direction? What are we doing? Are we just dealing with a whole full scope of just students in general? And if so, that's fine, but I'm just curious to know, are we doing anything to help push that initiative as well?
So Reverend Kirkpatrick, I would like to offer, so when students are thinking about high school registration, part of what we do to help students make those decisions is to do a roadshow of types so that the programming options are explained to the students prior to high school registration, prior to that window opening up, so that they understand, and it happens right at each middle school. So they understand, what is available to them and the pathways that they could potentially be a part of and invest in.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you.
The other thing I'll add is we're about to start. We did this last year, and we're gonna replicate it this year. Where coming up in, I believe, in February and March, all of our high schools will be offering rising freshman nights for families and students who will be in 9th grade next year to come to 3 separate events. One is a whole school, come learn about our high school, come learn about the registration process. But then following that will be 2 to 3 specific nights that parents can sign up for and attend for those one-on-one counseling conversations or small group conversations where you can have that more of a very strategic conversation about my child and my child's interests before they even get to high school. We saw a lot of success with that last year. We're replicating that this year. So during those times, that's when we'll do a lot of marketing on this as well. While we've got, because I think you've got to educate your families too. It can't just be the students. The more we can get our parents to buy into this and understand the pathway their child may be on is another win for us. So all of this is going to be part of what we're doing very strategically with all of our kids.
I can offer a very brief aside concerning the experience at Wingate for diverse students. What a lot of people may not know is nearly half of our undergraduate student body now is non-white. We've made major changes to try to be a better partner in terms of recruiting an increasingly diverse student body. Our School of Education, where these people would be prepared, where these Next Stop Teach UPS, UCPS students would be prepared, is among the most diverse groups of faculty that we have. So they're going to find a lot of people on our campus that look like them, that come from all sorts of different environments, and they'll be really prepared, I think, to go back into the school system, having found a college home that makes sense to them.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. Thank you. I have no more questions, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Okay, I need a motion to send this to the full board.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
4-0. Well, I did want to thank everybody for being here for this meeting, and I do think making it affordable to become a teacher as far as education is huge, so I appreciate the effort. Our next meeting, is it going to be February 22nd, Dr. Rogers, if we need one?
You're on mute.
You're muted.
Was hoping not to do that. No, February 22nd works. Yes.
Okay. And 10 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
So I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, have a